Well, Iowa Hawkeye fans, that was fun. But you know what's more fun?
I had to wake up.
Oh, yeah. Hey, by the way, I knew this already. I had it pegged on the schedule. This is the most impromptu, random intro to this show in the history of time, but I had it marked on the schedule. There's no way you're with us on Wednesday. Have you looked at the game on Wednesday? Have you looked at the schedule?
No.
You know, they're doing this triple header thing on Big Ten Network. They play the 10 p.m. game.
No.
You're going to be, you might get up for your midnight pee break at by the time the game's at halftime.
I hope I make it past that, but you never know.
Folks, sorry for the very casual, informal intro to the show. This is Iowa Postgame with Coach Gary Close. I'm Corey Bratta here from the Hawkeye of the Storm. We're talking about Iowa men's basketball and the team's 84-66 victory over the Oregon Ducks. Our show is proudly sponsored by Big Grove Brewery. Hopefully everybody that was watching the game tonight at Big Grove across the state of Iowa had a good time. I'm sure you did. Kick back with their Easy Eddie or their neighborhood beer. Their Citrus Surfer is delicious as well. Depends on your taste. Visit biggrove.com and check out all the locations across the state of Iowa. Des Moines, Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Solon, also a new location in Omaha. All those tap rooms are beautiful. Food is great. Beer is better. Biggrove.com, Big Grove Brewery, the official craft brewery of the Hawkeyes and the official watch party headquarters of the Hawkeyes. Our show is also sponsored, as always, by none other than Brad Van Meter. Check out Brad and his team. Visit him online at bradvanmeter.com. Get a quote on insurance and make sure you and your family are saving ample amounts of money on insurance. We all need good insurance. We need a team that cares about us, saving us money, taking care of us when crisis occurs, it's inevitable in this world, give Brad a call at 515-256-6480 to see if he can save you some money. I'm sure he can. And you can also stop into his office down there at 4229 Fleur Drive in Des Moines. A bunch of great people, a bunch of Hawkeye fans working at the State Farm office on Fleur Drive. Brad Van Meter and his State Farm office in Des Moines. All right, so we are talking Iowa's win over Oregon. Gary, that was a fun game to watch.
Yeah, it was.
I know Oregon's not full strength. Nobody's going to paint that differently. I have a couple of questions for you about their team and just the effect that not having Nate Biddle and the other, what are their second leading scorer? I know those two guys are their two leading scorers, probably their best players. But to go out there to Eugene, to win handily on their court, it's a really good coaching staff. I'm sure you have a lot of respect for Dana Altman, as do I. And there's still a lot of good athletes on that team. They're not very good right now, right? They've lost 8 straight Big Ten games. But again, winning this game was a must. Had to have it, and now they have a much tougher assignment on Wednesday. But just your overall reaction to a dominant performance tonight.
Dominant is a good word. I thought there are times when Oregon will make a little bit of a rally, but it didn't last very long, especially in the second half with total control. And offensively, they were terrific. High assists, low turnovers, high shooting percentage. They looked great. And Oregon's not very good. I'm surprised how bad they are. We played them twice when our Final Four teams in the Sweet 16, and they were good. I know they have some injuries, but I'm surprised they're as bad as they are. I mean, I don't know how many more games they're going to win the rest of the way. They're just really struggling. But hey, that's okay. You take what they give you, and you get a road win, and then you move on.
I'm just perusing through their schedule, and I don't know when Biddle and the other guy got hurt, but they started off the season, beat their rival Oregon State Beavers. They're probably not very good. I don't. Seems like their athletic program as a whole, them and Wazoo, they've taken hits since the Pac-12 as knew it dissolved. But then they lost to Pearl's Auburn Tigers team, lost to San Diego State, lost to Creighton, lost to UCLA, lost to USC, and they never really recovered from that stretch. Had a couple of wins against nobody, lost to Zaga, and their only Big Ten win is at Maryland, which actually is not a bad win when you think about it, crossing 3 time zones and winning in College Park. And if you're Maryland, you're thinking, how on earth did we drop that game? But they lost by 35 to Nebraska, only lost by 10 to Michigan, only lost by 16. I say only, but lost by 16 to Izzo's Spartans. I'm just looking to see if there's. I mean, they've been competitive in a couple of these
at times. Mm-hmm.
And I watched them the other night against UCLA, and they kind of hung around for a while in that game. But yeah, it's odd. And I saw the question popped up in our Discord chat earlier in the week. Someone asked, "Is Dana Altman, if assuming the season continues? I mean, they're not going to make the tournament. They'd have to win out."
No, they're not making it.
And I don't know if Biddle, if he's hurt, I don't know if he could come back for another year with a medical. But why come back unless this is it? He doesn't want to come. Maybe come back and see if you can get your draft stock. Maybe I don't know what his NBA stock is, but is Dana Altman in trouble? Like, could he be feeling some heat with as bad as it's been?
I think that's a possibility. Hard to believe. He's won a lot of games at a lot of places, and he's had great success, but this team doesn't look very good. Maybe I really don't know those guys as well as I should. So maybe that's a big reason. Those guys are that good, but we'll have to wait and see. But it's certainly been a struggle for them. They, especially in the second half, they didn't look very good at all.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Just it's kind of weird watching an Oregon team
definitely
like this. I mean, it's like, man, it seems like every year Oregon is really good. Even the years where they don't perform as well in the regular season, they've made runs in the NCAA tournament. Mm-hmm. And it's like,
and they've had players. I mean, they had some great players that have come through there. Dylan Brooks and so on and so forth. They've had pros.
Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah, for sure. He's a terrific player. We recruited Pritchard hard. And he's a great player. They've had a bunch. and they just haven't done as well the last couple of years. But it's never easy to play, and especially a league like Big Ten when you're not at full strength.
Bowl.
Who? Bobo. Yeah. Well, you're throwing all kinds of names out. I'm ready for.
I'm trying to think that. I mean, we watched Iowa get dismantled in the NCAA tournament. 5 years ago? That was a good Iowa team, and they got just blitzkrieged by a team that was, I think, was Oregon maybe a 7 seed that year. So I mean, it is weird seeing Dana Altman's teams.
We played them in a Sweet 16 game, to go to the Sweet 16 game, second round game in Milwaukee. And we were a high seed, and they were, I think we might have been a 2 or 3 seed, and they were a 7 or whatever, 6. And they had us down big. And if we hadn't have played in Milwaukee, I don't think we would have won the game. The crowd just went crazy as we came back, and it was a home game. And we were lucky we advanced and kept going, but they were good. And we played them both years to go to the Sweet 16, and both games were knock them down, drag them out. They were really good basketball games.
Nate Biddle is a good basketball player. It seems like he's been there forever. I mean, he obviously that's a difference maker in a lot of ways. I would think preseason he was first team All Big Ten preseason. I don't know to look back at it, but so that's again, that's a hit. And if your 2 best players are out,
is he out for the rest of the year?
I don't think either of them are out for the rest of the year.
But they've been out for quite a while, haven't they?
That's what I'm saying. I don't even if they're done, unless they have no chance of coming back next year. Why return at this point?
Because you might get $5 million to return.
Well, I'm saying why come back this year?
Oh yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
why push to come back this year if your season's lost? And it seems like, with all due respect, and I don't. Have you been to Eugene? Have you played out there?
Yeah, my first coaching, we were at Stanford. We played 3 years there.
Okay, that's right. You were at Stanford.
Back in the old Pac-12 that I hated to see get disbanded. It's a great league. And now that's a new arena. We played in a place called MacArthur Court. That was an old, tough place to play. And they were coached by Don Munson, who was an old Michigan State coach, and very well coached. And they were tough. They were a good team even then.
Yeah, I just totally forgot about that stint you had at Stanford. Sort of like Don Patterson at North Texas. I forget that before at Iowa, he and Coach Fry, they were at North Texas, which is, football.
Exactly.
Anyway, so that's interesting, your perspective on Pac-12 athletics from that. Eugene is a beautiful area. I've heard people bash the athletics like Autzen Stadium. They don't think that's at great of a venue. I'll say this: I got family about 30 minutes outside of Eugene. It's one of the most beautiful parts of the country you can visit, and you can visit that part of Oregon and see the rocky shoreline of the West Coast.
Yep.
You can see the sea lion caves. You can go on a legitimate drive-through safari. You can see the Willamette Pass and the mountains and then you can go, an hour or 2 the other way and get desert and get some beautiful golf courses. I mean, it's beautiful. So
it is.
Yeah. I as I was watching the game, I had made the comment. My wife was there and was sitting watching the game, and a couple of buddies of mine, and I just said, I almost wish I said run out there. Obviously, you don't just run out to Eugene, but
no.
but with family in the area, I hope to go out there at some point now that Oregon's in the league and catch a football game or something. So really beautiful area. But I feel a bit for that fan base. It didn't look like there were many people there, so
no.
It's not like Iowa's the only school that when they're struggling to win games, fans aren't going to show up. I mean, Oregon's got unbelievable athletic support and history, even with basketball. And it just goes to show that if you're not winning games, fans aren't going to come out.
No, especially if they can watch it on TV. They're definitely not coming out. No.
A couple things here. I see several people in the chat who are premium members. We want to give those people a shout out. Kyle Hawks, he says, hi, Coach and Corey Hazen. Finally having a good night playing with some playing time. Absolutely. Sean Watts wants to know if you're related to Corey Close, head coach at UCLA.
No, I'm not.
But Corey is related to me. Corey Close is
no.
No.
Really?
No. They Corey Close. It's like we mixed you and I together, and we came out with.
Oh, I see.
Let's
I
not
got
talk
you.
about that. That's kind of
Yeah,
this.
that sickness definitely did affect you.
For the record, she spells her first name with an I. But anyways, have you ever met Corey Close?
No, I sure haven't.
She seems like a good
I
basketball.
was at a league before the all those Pac-12 teams came in, but I would have loved to have made another trip out to those places. That was back in the day where you'd go, you go Oregon State, you go Washington State, you go UCLA, USC. So you'd be on the road 4 or 5 days and play a couple games and Arizona State. There were some great places to travel to. Seattle, Phoenix, LA. It's a good time.
Justin brings up Chris Duarte. That was the name I was trying to think of. We were talking about some great players that have gone through that Oregon program. So, okay, so we got a super chat here from VMS. Here's to not needing a Coach Close therapeutic whiteboard session. We had that earlier today with Kashin. She pulled out the whiteboard and
did she?
was
have to do that.
Running through these plays and ball screen actions that she wished Iowa ran, and it's a little easier to do that when you're coming off a loss. But I'll tell you tonight, Gary, Bennett Sturtz was just a man amongst boys.
He
32,
was terrific.
12 of 15 overall, 4 of 6 from 3, perfect to the line, 4 of 4, 7 assists, no turns. That is what we saw tonight from him. Now, I know it's not an Oregon team that's very good, but that is an NBA player that we saw tonight. These are the types of, and there were scouts at this game. What did he show to those scouts that you saw?
Everything. I mean, you got 32 points on 15 shots. You don't turn the ball over. He's in such control. I mean, he just never gets sped up. He makes the right decisions. Some of his passes are just beautiful that other people can't make or even try to make. And he creates so much attention that it just makes everybody else more wide open. And I mean, they ran that little wrap play they ran. I think they ran that 4 times. They got a layup every single time. And it's all because of him. They're concerned about it. And I think he only scored 1 out of the 4 times. It was, a counter to it, just based on how the defense played him. And he's really, Hawkeye fans better enjoy watching him these next couple months because he's a treat. We may not see this again for a while.
How big was it for Sturtz and for this team tonight to get 15 points on 9 shot attempts from Alvaro, along with 8 rebounds?
He's playing well. I mean, what a great option to have coming off your bench. A lot of teams don't have that where he can, he rebounds, he'll knock down. You got to guard him. You got to knock down open shots. And, they have 18, I think they had 18 assists and 4 turnovers. That just tells you what kind of offense they were playing. So, really a great offensive show.
We got a question here from Scott pretty early. Why did Tavion Banks hardly play?
I kept asking myself that same question. I don't know if he was sick or hurt.
Well, is it? And this is all I can think of, and you tell me I'm wrong. I know he came off 3 20-plus point games. Maybe he's been sick. I don't think so because he just got sick. I mean, he just was. They were all sick. Now maybe he got it late, and I'm wrong. But the whole team's been sick. I would think that's run its course. Could be wrong. Maybe he got food poisoning. Maybe something else. He looked fine. He's on the sideline. He's happy. Is it possible, Gary, and you tell me I'm wrong, is it possible that McCollum just liked the unit he had out there and just rode the guys that were playing well?
I think that's a possibility, yeah.
It seems like he does. He's willing to do that more than maybe some coaches.
Yeah, that's a question for him. I kept asking myself, why isn't he playing and where is he? Kind of looking on the bench to see if he was there, and that'll be one for the coach.
This says T. Hink. I have not confirmed this, but T. Hink is telling us that Ben McCollum in the postgame stated that Hazen lost 20 pounds, changed his body, and is learning the system. And according to Ben McCollum, it's paying off.
20 pounds, that's a lot.
He was a little pudgy.
He went from a power forward to an off guard.
Well, he was. My guess
20 pounds helps him on the defensive end. That's where he really will
For
up.
Jerome Tang at Kansas State, my guess is, well, I know he was. He was a spot-up shooter, and my guess is defense was somewhat optional. I don't know what sort of offense or defense. What is Jerome Tang's style? Like, if you
It'll
watch,
be a new offense next year, I'm guessing, with the year they're having. I don't know, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
We've never played him, and
well, I know he played a lot there, right? We keep talking about how much Hazen was a factor there, and Michael wants to know why wasn't Hazen playing more minutes. Well, again, maybe that's an explanation. We've been talking about it, but Gary, it was nice to see him get 11 points tonight, and I thought he was fine defensively. Just what did you see, Brendan?
Yeah, no, I thought he did a great job. He gave him good minutes off the bench. We'll see if he can keep it going. See, the one thing is being consistent. You can't be a guy that comes in and has one great game, and then you come out and you play play very well. You gotta show that consistency to give the coach confidence to keep your minutes where they are or even increase them.
Lisa in the chat. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate you being here. Always good to see your face. She says, everyone hit that like button for Corey and Coach to celebrate our Hawkeye victory. Go Hawks. And if I'm not mistaken, Lisa is out there on the West Coast. So it's 7:20 out there. So it's not that late if you're on the West Coast. If you're here in the Midwest and you're mourning the fact that you're not in warm, although it's probably not that warm in South Carolina right now, is it?
No, we've had record lows, but that'll change soon. But no, it's cold.
I love how you say we, and you're not even in South Carolina.
No, that's true.
You just associate yourself with South Carolina.
Yeah, a little bit.
I understand. All right. Hey, what's Jess doing? I haven't heard his voice on. Has he been doing games the last couple of weeks?
He did early. He hasn't done as much late. Now, last year he said he did a lot of Mountain West games during the regular season. So maybe we'll have to ask him. Maybe he's doing some of those games out there.
Okay.
He doesn't have a huge in-season Big Ten schedule, it seems. He gets more Big Ten games during a non-conference for some reason.
I see this comment from Jeff who says Manyow didn't play a lot either. I'm looking right now at the box score and second half final minutes count. Manyow with 6 minutes in the second half, Banks with 3, Combs with 4. So, I mean, when you get, he rode Isaiah Howard for 15 in the second half. He rode Fulgaris for 15, Sturts for 18, Koch for, what did I say, Koch already for 15, and then Hazen played 9. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. That's a good problem to have.
He might be sending a message some way, shape, or form. I don't know.
And I think Ben's smart enough to know, too, that game on Wednesday could be a taxing one because I know they've been out there for a couple of days, but you're on the West Coast. Elevation isn't an issue in Eugene, but you're still out there, and then you're going to play. Even though you've had a few days to adjust your inner clock, you're playing a 10 p.m. game Central Time on Wednesday. So fatigue, maybe just planning ahead, like, hey, we can ride these guys, and then we're going to have fresh Tavion. I don't know, just
could be.
Theorizing a little bit. Let's go to our phone line. Thank you for calling Iowa Postgame with Coach Gary Close. Who's on the line? Hey, John.
Corey, that was me that asked you in the Discord about Dana Altman being on the hot seat. That was my one intelligent contribution to the Discord. So.
Hey, it's a good question. Gary thinks you might be right. So I said no. I said I don't think there's any way that one bad year is going to put him on the hot seat.
What were they last year?
I think they were pretty good last year, weren't they?
I don't know. I don't think.
I'll look it up, but I mean, maybe you're right. Hey, this day and age, it doesn't take long to get somebody on the hot seat.
I'd say it would surprise me, but it wouldn't shock me. Not this day and age.
They were 25-10 last year.
Oh well, no, then he's got no problem.
I don't know what did he do in the tournament. Let's see what he did in the
25-10, and then now they're 2 and whatever they are. Geez,
well,
they lose a lot of players to graduation.
I mean, probably. I don't know.
I don't know. I can tell I don't know a whole lot about
them. The fact that they got Biddle and what's his face back for this year. Let's see. Last year they beat Liberty in the first round of the NCAA tournament and then lost by 4 to 4-seed Arizona. Oregon was a 5-seed in the tournament last year. So, I mean, that's another pretty good Ducks team that Altman had going last year. So,
Yeah, no, he's a good coach. No, I'd say he's fine. It's a kind of a blip.
John, what do you got for coach?
Well, as you said no, and Tony said yes, and then you put a thumbs down on his comment. I personally found that to be hilarious.
I like to poke the bear sometimes.
Coach, if you were the head coach and you got to play on Wednesday night, would you fly home tonight and go back out Tuesday, or would you just stay out there?
No, I'd stay out there. Yeah, that's too far. You flew home tonight, you wouldn't be back until 2 or 3 in the morning. That's the worst thing for people is getting those really late flights where they get their sleep cycle all messed up, and then by the time you're back, you got to turn around and get back on another plane. It's a long flight. No, I would not. I'd stay out there. Yeah, but you got to keep them busy out there.
The Big Ten is creating these schedules for these teams, John, so that these teams can stay out there. I mean, just think about it. The men played at Southern Cal and UCLA last year in 1 week. This year, they're doing it.
It's just one trip a year.
Yeah.
Because the other 2 come back. But can you imagine what the 4 teams out there do?
Yeah.
They've got. Whoa.
I know.
Well, if you look at the a lot of times the West Coast teams might come play Iowa, then they'll play Indiana, and then they'll play Rutgers, or they'll maybe play Purdue. They'll stay in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure they do that as I know they actually. Let's see, who was it the other day that Iowa played at home? USC had just played Wisconsin and maybe Minnesota and Iowa, so they're trying to be as efficient as possible with the whole travel arrangement.
Yeah. Coach, how difficult is that to stay out there and then to organize places to stay, places to practice, where you're going to have your meals? That seems like that'd be incredibly difficult to me.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, they'll probably stay in Eugene tonight, and then I would guess they probably would fly to Seattle out of Eugene, and then Washington will get them some court time for probably tomorrow and the next day, and they'll do some film, and they'll probably have study hall and things like that. So those are 2 real nice places to visit. And starting off with a win is certainly nice. It'll make the trip even better. But it's a typical road trip.
It's a 4.5 hour drive straight up the interstate. It's not a hard drive, but Eugene has a nice little airport. I compare it to Des Moines Airport. It's really simple to fly in and out of, and you probably get a quick charter flight up to Seattle and simplify the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I've got. Thank you, guys.
All right, John.
All right, thanks for the call. So it sounds like Banks got banged up in practice.
Yeah, so I'm seeing that. Sounds like that was commented on during halftime. Josh Sash had a halftime interview, and he said that Tavion was banged up a bit. So my guess is precautionary. I think it appeared to me and I'm sure to Ben that they were in control of this game. And
that sounds logical.
Michael says that Banks was using a massage gun on the bench in the first half. Yeah. Now, that doesn't answer the question why Mannion and Combs played so little. But, again, there might be a combination of circumstances there.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing to get those guys. And Alvaro, you need him. I keep saying this, I think Iowa needs Alvaro to be that guy.
Definitely.
For them to have the success they want to have second weekend, he has got to play.
He's got his role right now. No, he's got to play.
Yeah, so if you can go into the tournament with a tandem of Sturtz and Banks and Fulgaris, this team becomes, I think, very dangerous, assuming everybody stays healthy. I don't know how dangerous they are if it's 1, 2, and then it's a toss-up. Is it Koch some nights? Is it Fulgaris? I think they need a cemented third option. And Fulgaris has not been consistent enough. But what we saw tonight and even the other night against USC, he had a couple of big shots late in that game, Gary, against the Trojans.
Huge.
but McCollum has talked about that. They're crossing their fingers, hoping that he, starts. At some point, you expect him to figure it out. Could it be now? Could it be in a month? Could it be in the off season? You want it to be as quickly as possible. I know those things don't happen overnight, but what is the key, especially for a guy who plays like Alvaro? We've talked about the transition from low major basketball to high major basketball. What's the key? And do you see light bulb moments for guys when you've had transfers similar to Alvaro?
It's consistency. You just can't be talked about a little bit before with another player. The coach's got to feel confident putting you in there that you're going to, give a good effort and some production. And the ones that go up and down all the time, they drive you crazy, and that's when you lose confidence and minutes go down. So he's got to keep improving and like I said, just keep know his role and do it consistently.
All right, let's go back to our phone line. We got Jace on the line. Jace, welcome.
How's it going, guys?
Good. How are you?
How you doing?
Not too bad.
Yeah, you should be.
I have a couple questions for Coach. With Alvaro and Hazen, their minutes the last 2 games, especially, they are going up. Do you think they're just figuring out the system finally?
Yeah, that could be. That could definitely be. And I think probably getting a little more comfortable on the defensive end. I think that's probably where it starts, that he's got to feel confident that they both can do the team concepts defensively that they want, because all you get is one guy out there who doesn't know what he's doing, and it can break everybody else down, especially on the defensive end. So I'm guessing that might be a big part of it.
And yeah, I think with Austin, he doesn't need to be a 20 to 25 minute guy. I think he'd be very valuable even with 10 minutes of. I mean, when he's out there, he's not a 55% effort guy. It's 100%, 100%, 100%.
Right.
And then
you can have foul trouble, you can have injuries, you can have guys not playing well. So if you can bring the bench along, that just makes things a little bit easier.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they showed Banks on the bench early first half, and he looked like he was grabbing his knee maybe, in a little pain too with that.
Yeah, and somebody reported that he might have gotten banged. That coach said they might have gotten banged up in practice. So
yeah, we're gonna need him.
Fortunately, they did need him tonight, so it was probably smart resting him.
Yeah, that's the sort of you don't want anybody to get hurt, and hopefully just a tweak and he'll be fine. It won't affect him, but those are the types of little things that could benefit you down the road. I mean, if he doesn't get banged up, or if who knows what happened with Maniau and Combs, but then maybe you don't give Fulgaris so many minutes. You don't give as long of a leash to Hausen. To get Fulgaris those minutes, to get Hausen on the floor could change the trajectory of a lot of things if they get it going, and all of a sudden, like I said, the light bulb flicks on for one of those guys.
Absolutely. What was the minutes for Combs and Cam tonight?
Let's see. Total for the game, Cam had 13 minutes. Banks had 11. Maniau had 13. Banks had 11, and Combs had 18.
Combs had 18.
Hausen had 16.
Yeah, that's probably the most minutes he's played all year.
And Sage only had 14. So Sage has been playing great, and Hausen outpaced all of those guys.
Oh, he definitely goes with a hot hand. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Yeah.
And he was good defensively tonight. I thought there's a couple of times he got blown by, but I mean, he's probably the least athletic guy in the court at some of the times in that game.
Yeah, I've asked Gary.
He's dropping them pounds.
Yeah, that helps, right?
Quicker.
Yeah. I've asked Gary this question before, Jace. Is he that bad defensively? Because it just, it's just it is an odd situation because, and I've been asked this a dozen times, why hasn't Hausen played more? And it's like, well, the only thing that I can think of is that he just isn't being evaluated as positively on the defensive end as the rest of the guys, because we know he's a lights out shooter. And then what I observe on the bench and during the games is he seems to be a great teammate. And, oh, by the way, Ben McCollum touts his great leadership and what a great teammate he is, which is saying something given the fact that he's a senior who transferred in from being a starter at a Power 4 program in Manhattan. And he comes in here not playing. The fact that he's kept his head up, and again, we don't know what's going on in practice, but Yeah, I mean, I'm with you.
I mean, he said he's practiced well.
Yeah, I mean, if he's practicing well, I don't know what else holds him back from playing time other than maybe he's not the perfect fit for the system, but they also brought him in because they wanted to. I mean, McCollum has said that he believes Hazen will win them games at some point this year. So here we are. It started February. Maybe now's the time.
Might happen Wednesday.
Yeah, we're going to need 3-point shooting here. I mean, Minnesota, we didn't shoot the ball well. And that's a game where he thought there was good enough matchups. He played like the last 5 minutes of that game, maybe 4 minutes, and you're like, there's good enough matchups in that game. I think even Nebraska coming up, there's guys he can guard on that basketball team where Nebraska, they run a weird defense of you're not going to get in the lane. We're going to let you shoot how many threes you want to.
So you tell me, Gary, what do you think his plan, if it is simply based on matchups, is it an individual thing or do you think it's more complex than that, I guess?
I think it's probably a little bit of both, but I think it's probably on the defensive end. I'd be curious what Kansas State played defensively. I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm going to guess that's where the minutes lie.
Yeah.
Anything else, Jace?
And then I thought Cooper had his best game since.
He was a little more aggressive tonight. Yep.
Yep. And I think that's some of the problems with some of the players on the team. They passed up a lot of open shots. I think somebody asked that in Ben's presser last week or after the USC game or something. Somebody asked that in his presser saying, what's going on? I mean, Coop passed that open one up against USC. Howard's passed up multiple shots, open shots.
Yep. Well, Cooper's young, so young players, it's a long year, and you miss a few, all of a sudden you start thinking about it. But it was good to see him. He made some good plays taking the ball to the hoop too, which he hasn't done a lot of this year. So yes. I thought he was much more aggressive.
Yeah, I think the team's starting to come together.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we need to beat Washington.
One thing that they'll look back on tape here tomorrow is they missed way too many layups in that first half. I mean,
it seems like that happens every game.
Well, that was interesting. McCollum did comment on that. It's the same question that you're referring to the other day in his press conference. It was a Zoom press conference that I missed because I was sick. But he was asked about shots around the rim, and he said they have what did he say? I think he said that they have a horrible they have horrible data right now with shot attempts around the rim. Like they take bad shots around the rim. He's like, just because you're at the rim does not mean you have to shoot. And so he said that verbatim, and I thought it was a great comment. But tonight, I mean, I don't know that the shots were bad, Gary. They just one or two of them, I'm like, just go up and dunk the ball. Like Fulgaris is like 6'9" with a 7'1" wingspan. Go up and dunk the ball. I know it's not his natural. I get it. I mean, I watched Dirk Nowitzki play for years. Now, Dirk dunked the ball a lot early in his career, but he was a finesse guy. He plays below the rim. So it can be done. But, Tavion, dude looks like a mammoth. Like, go dunk the ball. You're bigger and stronger than all these guys. Stop playing below the rim.
I think they all happen like 4 plays in a row, 2 or 3 of them. Fulgaris missed that one, and then Banks missed back-to-back in that first half.
Yeah, well, Banks always misses around the rim. But Fulgaris, I'm trying to think of who else missed around the rim. Am I missing somebody specifically that you remember, Gary? I know Fulgaris and Banks.
There were a few.
Howard?
Yeah.
Howard may have missed. He tends to miss sometime around the rim as well. So
it's not as easy as it looks.
No,
it looks a lot easier than it is, and it takes practice, and it's not an easy thing to practice because you got bodies and being banged, and most of the time it happens when you rush. You got to learn to slow down and get a good base and get solid and get strong so that you can explode. You need experience. I mean, you can be a very effective inside scorer, not be able to jump at all. If you're, get a good base and you're wide and you're effective with shot fakes and things like that, get guys off balance, get angles, stuff like that. But it takes some time. And I agree. I think they've gotten better at it, but it's still an area that they've got to keep working at because, that could come back to bite him against teams that are better.
Jace, appreciate you calling in, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You bet.
And yeah, I mean, it's interesting. They were shooting. The commentators made the point in the first half. They were shooting 57% from the field, and yet they even acknowledged they've missed like 4 layups.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you're probably in the low to mid 60s if you make those 4 layups. So,
a lot of times they jump out rather than jumping up. So it's almost like shooting at a moving target.
Right.
And that's where, you get off balance, or you're not, getting under control, where you're going up towards the basket, up towards the backboard, and not out at it, where, it can throw you off just enough that you can miss it.
Sturts gets away with that a little bit more because it feels like he does the same thing at times, but he just has a great understanding of angles and touch.
Yep. And he uses the backboard all the time. I mean, he's a great backboard shooter that more people should do.
All right, we got Doug, we got Cody. Let's go to our next caller. Thank you for calling Iowa Postgame with Coach Gary Close. Who's on the line?
Hey, it's Tyler down in Florida.
Hey, Tyler.
I bet it's not cold
in Florida right now.
Yeah, what's the temp?
23 right now where I am.
Whoa.
That's like what it is here.
Wind chill, yeah. I'm in north central Florida, so about an hour north of Orlando.
Yeah, well, that's pretty far south.
That would be a cold ride on a Disney ride.
Oh, yeah. Yes, fun. Disney had a bunch of stuff out today. They actually, a lot of their fountains froze over and stuff. So, yeah, crazy stuff down there.
I was going to say, I don't know why Disney would stay open. I guess people probably still go there. If you're on vacation, you're not going to cancel your trip totally, I guess.
Correct. But,
so
fun times down here, though. I moved away from Iowa, I thought, to get away from the cold, but it followed me down here. So.
Yeah. Oh, you can keep it.
But,
yeah,
I'll take the warming.
Go ahead and keep it.
But anyway, it's funny you brought up the layups. That was one of the things I was gonna bring up with the previous caller. Sturts. I was gonna bring up the exact guy with Sturts. I think that's practice, if I'm not mistaken. Touch around the rim is an art that I feel like a lot of these guys, Fulgaris, Banks, even Manyow, just don't have.
I real quick, I think Fulgaris has it. I do think Fulgaris, and I think think he has it. I just think he's not attacked enough. Now tonight he maybe missed one, but I think that's consistent with what McCollum has said. I believe McCollum has made the statement in the past week that Fulgaris is a better finisher. He can get to the basket and finish better than he's shown. But I agree with you on the other guys. Like Banks does not. He's starting to get a little bit better.
Banks is one of the worst layup shooters I've seen in a while.
Gary said it, right? He jumps off 1 foot. He's kind of flailing.
Yep.
It's,
Well, so my point to that was the one layup tonight for Fulgaris was a footwork issue, which is, I think, what most layups are. If you're not same thing with shooting. If your shoulders aren't square towards the basket, you're not getting the shoulder square. You're going to be a way worse shooter, even if your footwork is off. Layups, it's footwork. Got to get off 2 feet and get above. But Hausen, pleasant surprise. I think you're seeing a little bit more on the defensive end. I don't know if you guys have noticed this at all. He's the only guard when he's in that is about 75 feet, starts to guard whoever's bringing the ball up the court. Has anyone else noticed that?
Is that
the only one that does it pretty consistently too?
I've noticed that. I don't know, Gary. Again, I'm gonna plead ignorance on this. Is that so? I think Tyler's mainly talking about the fact that he's typically guarding. He's guarding the point guard, the opposing point guard normally, right? I mean, he's checking whoever's got the ball. So I don't know if
my point to that is like Sturts and even Howard. Oh my goodness, Cale Combs. You don't see those guys doing it when they're in.
Maybe
I'm wondering on that. Just hey, you're in for a short period of time. Go pressure a little bit. And we saw it towards the end of the second half. He almost got the 5-second call.
So Gary, yeah, I did notice that. So Gary, do you think that's what Tyler's saying, or is it more so like he's not a great defender in general? Like he's gonna have a hard time staying in front of you if you give him space. he's going to drive by you regardless. So you might as well hound and try to be disruptive in the full court to provide the biggest punch defensively.
Yeah, I think with the other guys, it's probably more fatigue. I mean, Sturts plays so many minutes, he can't go pick up people 3/4 court all game. He'll be dead. If he's in there and he's going to try to, do things within the framework of the defense and can be effective. The problem is usually when you're in open court and you're not as quick, that's where you can be in trouble.
Yeah.
But it'll be, I'll have to pay a little more attention to that to see, if that's the case. But I think with the other two guys, it's just they're playing so many minutes now that that's a hard thing to do.
I just hope he keeps playing. I hope he keeps getting playing time.
Same.
There's no question that you got to earn it. So if he's playing, he's earning it.
Yeah, and you saw he's a weapon from three. I mean, he is. He's. Mm-hmm. I would say he's their best 3-point shooter by quite a bit, and that says something given who Bennett Sturts is. I mean, I'm guessing if you put these guys in a 3-point contest, Hazen would probably win that 9 times out of 10. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Sturts is a pretty good 3-point shooter.
I know who I'm betting on.
Obviously Hazen's game is a lot more one-dimensional. It was nice to see him drive and score in the mid-range tonight, Gary. We don't,
going to build his confidence a little bit. Yep, no doubt he contributes. There's nothing better than contributing to a win. It makes you feel good,
especially away from home.
I mean, correct, and any win. And with Hazen, I will say this: you have to stay on him on the wing. You have to set a defender up. They're not going to leave him open that way. So I felt like that did open up Sturts a little bit, especially when they do. I mean, they run the ball screen action constantly with the handoff, and every time Sturts would turn the corner, he had an extra step to either get into the lane or to kick out. I mean, that just adds a little bit of a dimension where that defender has to stay out towards Hazen a little bit because he's a threat. And versus even an Isaiah Howard or a Cale Combs, who shooting is not the first thing they're looking for.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So,
Tyler, appreciate you calling in, sir. Anything else before we let you go?
Last thing, I know we're not even to March yet, but this was a quad 2 game. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they're 5-1 now against quad 2.
Okay. So Nets looking pretty solid on that side. I think the tournament's going to come down to matchups. Yep. Bigger physical teams, Iowa's going to struggle against anyway. And I think that's what we're going to see.
Guard. Don't forget quick guards.
Any quick guard, we're going to struggle. But right now I saw a projected 8 or 9 seed. You'd like to get that bumped up to, I would say, probably 6. Get off that 7, 8, 9 line. But anyway, I know we're early, but first time in a couple of years I've actually felt pretty good about where we're at in February. So just want to hear your thoughts on that, and I'll hang up and listen.
Thank you, Tyler.
Good,
22 in the net, Gary, or for Iowa right now. So, I mean, and hey, they've won 4 straight. I mean, what 2 weeks ago, I think we said that we came on this show. I think you were on with that show, and I said something, hey, they lost to whoever it was, but it was like, no, they beat Indiana. That's what it was. They beat Indiana. And we're looking at the schedule like, this is huge.
That one's looking better and better, by the way.
Yeah, it does. Win over Purdue, and Indiana's, they've competed against everybody since then. So that was just a big corner-turning win because they didn't, they didn't need to win that. They could have still had a streak going now, but to get that, plus you can start the streak against teams that you should beat. Washington's going to be hard. No one's debating that. And I heard you and Kyle talking about this on Wednesday. They play Nebraska twice. Talk about a bad year to draw that matchup twice. I mean, that's just, who would have thought that Nebraska twice would be a bear? But that's what it's going to be.
What are their other 2 team games?
Purdue.
They got Purdue twice too?
Yes. And
wow.
I'll find out.
That's really not fair.
I'll look at it here in a second. But, I think they can.
I'll bet you that's the hardest two-team schedule in the league.
I think
who's their third one?
Maryland.
Well, that helps. They're terrible.
Hey,
I can't believe how bad they are.
Yeah, they're not good either, are they?
Oh, Purdue beat them at 30 at home.
Yeah, they're horrible.
I didn't catch Purdue at the right time, but still, 30 at home. That means you're quitting.
Well, Purdue was probably a little perturbed.
Yeah. Nebraska and Who was their other one?
Purdue.
Purdue, yeah. Nebraska and Purdue, that's a tough.
It is.
That's a tough.
If they could split
I don't know.
Nebraska, I'd be happy. Just
I think everybody'd be happy.
win your game at home. Big Grove's big play of the day. Brendan Hasen's 3. I thought there was a big 3 at the end of that first half, Gary, because Oregon was making one of their I think it was Iowa was up 11 in that first half. Oregon goes on this run, gets it down to 6, and then with 10 seconds left in the first half, Brendan Hasen hits his first 3 of the game and extended that lead back to 9. We talk about the impact Hasen made and how nice it is to see him hitting shots, but that was a big shot in a game that Iowa hadn't really separated yet.
There's nothing better than going into halftime with a little bit of momentum. I mean, that's huge. So I agree with you.
Shane Bolender, you and I thought 5-1 over Iowa's next 6 was very possible. Should be the minimum result. Yeah, I stand by that. Absolutely. Let's go back to our phone line. We got Doug here with us. Doug, welcome.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Where you been, Doug?
A lot of places. Very, very busy. Well, we were in Iowa City on Wednesday, and Dad does not want me driving home while talking to you guys. So I can barely get on to the it's a very hard exit, the 380 to 30 exits. I always
What's so hard about it?
Just it's busy. He's always telling me, get in the right lane.
It's not that busy.
I'm not good.
You better upset Dad in the back seat.
Has he been anywhere other than Iowa? I mean, that's not.
Oh, he's going to Florida.
That's
he
not
always complains about my driving.
Listen, that's not a busy exchange. Okay.
Well, it isn't usually at 10 o'clock at night either. So.
No, not at all.
But,
I will say this. This is a real story, not basketball related. I was in Iowa City for something else. This is like a year and a half ago. And I'm merging on from First Avenue or First Street, right? I'm merging on going west toward the Quad Cities. And there's this woman that is also merging on, and I pass her, and I was driving a buddy of mine's brand new Ford Edge. I mean, a really nice car, right? And he's older, so he loves his car. He cares about his car, Gary. You know how that is, with all due respect. And I'm driving, and this woman, next thing you know, my buddy, he's telling me this story after the fact. He says, yeah, next thing I knew, I looked over, and this woman's in my lap. This woman was just about to he swears we were on 2 wheels. Mm-hmm. So I saved his car, but that same crazy woman, she's had Illinois plates, of driving back up to Ames, went up 380, and as I was merging onto Cedar Rapids, the interchange to go west on 30, that same woman was on the interstate. It was the most bizarre thing. So anyways, but no, it's if you're in Iowa, if you've only lived in Iowa, I was going to say he's been to Florida. He shouldn't think that that's a bad exchange, but
no. He just always wants me to make sure I'm paying attention. If I'm listening to you guys, I'm not paying attention. I'm like, I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention. At least I'm not live chatting.
Don't forget you can listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple.
Well, yeah, I told him at least I'm not live chatting, and at least I'm not calling in.
Yeah, you're not calling in while you're on there. That's good.
True. But I have once almost pulled over to live chat you because you said something. I was like, oh.
Well, that might be an irritant. That would probably be an irritant for me if you were my driver and it's late and I'm trying to get home and you pull over so you can add a comment to a live chat. So.
Yeah. But I live chat seems pretty cool tonight, and we're happy. One of the things I think whenever I see Dana Altman is his Hey Pig Suey from Arkansas. He took the Arkansas job, went down there, did the press conference. 24 hours later, decides to go back to Creighton.
Okay, what year was that?
Up. It's before Oregon.
Okay,
either 09, 10. Yeah, he took the Arkansas job, went down there, and realized this isn't the place for him.
I wonder. So that's interesting because, isn't that an odd story? Because now, and maybe it's
YouTube footage of him going. He's like in a suit and looks all awkward, trying to do their little chant. And
by the way, it's not Hey Pig Suey, it's Woo Pig Suey. But anyways, isn't that odd? Because John Calipari left Kentucky to go to Arkansas. Gary, is that just because of NIL dollars that he did that?
No, I don't know about that.
Why did he do that?
Sometimes you just you need something different, I guess. That's a good question. I don't know.
I saw
Kentucky
Kentucky beat Arkansas.
Yeah, and they had like 5 technical fouls.
Did they really?
Yeah, a bunch of
that was an interesting game. Some people were talking about that in the discourse, and I'm just trying to make sure I make good comments. But yeah, culture means a lot to a lot of these coaches. I think Ben will be here for a while, and the culture fits. But going back to like, I think we have 8 solid players and 1 All Big Ten player. I think everyone after Bennett has had their moments.
You don't think Tavion is 3rd team All Big Ten?
That's where I'm hoping. That's what we need him to be. He's probably the closest to being the 2nd best player. I mean, Tate had a good game. We just need more consistency. That
could Tate be all freshman team, Gary, or are there too many good freshmen in this league?
I think there's too many good freshmen, but I don't know for sure.
I mean, you just forget Cooper and Howard and a lot of these guys are still very young. So a question I have, and I don't know if who can answer this because the eligibility stuff gets weird. Corey, because Weegan got years because of being at junior college. Can Banks come back or not? That's been my question for.
I haven't ever asked Tavion that question.
What do you want him?
My guess, I have no idea what NBA scouts see in him, but Gary, I mean, you've coached a lot of players that end up in the league. Wouldn't he benefit from another year?
Who's that?
Tavion.
Thanks.
If he could get another year.
Definitely.
But he's got potential to be an NBA player, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got potential. If he could come back, that would be.
So there's your answer, Doug. I don't know, he may have
That's a big jump.
He may have to sue. I don't know, because there was a lawsuit that Weegan could have gotten on this. My understanding is the situation with Weegan. Weegan had the potential to maybe come back this coming season, but he didn't get his name on the lawsuit. I guess he just opted not to.
Well, he's doing well.
Well, yeah, and I don't know how much more his draft stock goes up. If Weegan came back and had a great year as a receiver, that could change things. But the fact of the matter is he's probably going to have suitors just because of his ability to return punts and kicks. With Tavion's he's made this ascent. But, boy, there's a big jump from JUCO to Wyoming to Drake to Iowa. And he's climbing that ladder. But if you could get another year of stability here and maybe be the go-to guy next year, I mean, there's a lot you can get back. And then more tape with your 3-point shot. I mean, more than 1 year of high numbers from behind the arc, finishing better around the rim off 2 feet instead of flailing. We talk about that. So those are all things that I think about.
Who, Flageris or Banks? And I don't want to who is somebody you could see making a huge jump next year if they did come back? The guys that maybe have eligibility or even within the last 10 games, somebody, who would even.
Gary, I'll answer that first question just because I think you'll probably be a little bit more thoughtful than I will. I think there's a bevy of guys who have an opportunity to have massive jumps heading into next year. I think Cooper Koch, Ben reminded the media the other day, he's a freshman.
Yep.
He's a redshirt freshman, so he's got an opportunity, a huge jump. Cale Combs is going to have his role expanded because all of a sudden you don't have Bennett Sturts to dominate the ball. Fulgaris, like I said earlier in this show, he's either going to make a jump this year or he's going to make a jump in the out of season or he's not going to make a jump at all. So he's a guy who's probably going to be the go-to, assuming Banks leaves. And then, if Banks comes back, he's another. I mean, I just go down the list. I think a lot of those guys. Howard is young. He made a big jump in this past off season. He needs to make another jump next year. So, Gary, do you have a better way?
No, I think you hit it right on the nail. Yeah, no, there are a lot of potential players that could make jumps.
I'll tell you who needs to make a big jump. Okay, who needs to make a really big, I'm trying to think of the right word to describe it because he's not right now. He's not playing. It's Yurok. They need a 7-footer, and he may not be the answer. In fact, I've expressed doubts as to whether. I don't think he looks like Gary. You haven't watched Yurok much, I'm sure, but to me, I watch him and he does not look like a Big Ten player. He just, to me, And I maybe McCollum sees it differently. He tells the media he sees Urok as a really good player. He's skilled offensively. I just wonder if he can defend, if he's athletic enough. So he's a guy like they need a 7-footer, Gary. They need size.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And if they don't
big guys develop at all kinds of weird rates. It's you never want to give up on them.
Yeah, and one of the things I was getting at was this game we kind of had different players step up. And Banks didn't play that many minutes. Cam didn't play that many minutes. Combs didn't play that many minutes. We had Hawson come in. The reason why I thought maybe Banks didn't play very much and was just that it's a long trip. There'll be, and it's a long season. Why risk it? There was no need to put Banks in there in the second half.
It seemed to me, hey, real quick, and again, stop me if I'm crazy on this, Gary.
I liked your last comment.
You will.
Well, I'm on a roll. It seemed to me like McCollum this game went with more of the finesse length. Like, I know Hasen's not long, but like he didn't go with the physical guys.
Mm-hmm.
He went with Fulgaris, Koch, Hasen, right? And he sat all the physical kids, Manyao, Banks, Combs, right? Am I wrong on that?
No, that's great.
It looks like that now. Yep.
Why would a coach potentially do that matchup wise, Gary?
Well, maybe matchups. I think in Banks' case, he's banged up. Yeah, that would be my guess.
I have one kind of last question for Coach and you, and because we don't talk about it as much, and they were talking about it on the TV. We talk a lot about the NCAA tournament. Coach, you didn't even have the Big Ten tournament when we were at Iowa. It's up until those last couple of years, I think. What role does the Big Ten tournament play? Is the team looking at seeds for that, double buys, stuff like that? Do you even pay attention where you're at in the standings for the Big Ten tournament? And, what does the Big Ten tournament mean right now for Iowa? I don't think we'll need that many games. It helps our resume. I don't know how many games we'll need to win, but what do you see the role of the Big Ten tournament, and what do they have to do? And could they win a championship there? That's my question.
Well, that's the thing. It's another championship to win. It's a great tournament. If you're going to go there, you might as well win it. There's probably no better way to prepare for the NCAA tournament than go there and play well. That doesn't mean you can't go there and play bad and still play well in the NCAA tournament. But, originally, I think this is the first year where everybody makes it. Originally, you had to make sure you at least were going to be invited. And then obviously buys help. So, you'd love to climb up as far as you can to get some buys and not have to play. How many do they have to play this year? They have to play 5 games. Is there 5 days of it now?
Yeah, if you're in the bottom 4.
Yeah, that's impossible. So, the more, the higher you can get, the less games you can play. I think your chances go up. They're in a position now where, they're not that far out of a pretty high position if they can keep winning.
All right, we got one final caller. We'll wrap this thing up. First of all, a couple of comments in the chat. Murph says, do you think Bennett knew scouts were at the game?
There'll be scouts at every one of his games, probably.
I'm guessing he expects that every night, right?
Yeah.
Go Hawks says, Ben just seems to be on another level compared to other coaches for the university. Corey, do you think he could eventually win a natty or frequent Final Fours later on, just knowing how much he knows? Well, you got to, it's not just about how much you know. It's also about who you know and can you recruit, and obviously. But Gary, it's a better question for you. Sky's the limit for Ben at Iowa.
Well, he's off to a great start. It's to get to that level, you got to have players. There's no question about it. That certainly helps. So his ability to recruit, to find players in the portal that'll fit his system is big. It's a hard thing to do. The NCAA tournament is a crapshoot. If you're not one of the, teams like Duke or they just have talent all the time, it's much more difficult. But there's no reason why it can't be done at Iowa. It has been done before there. So, but it's going to take some work. It's going to take some expertise. It's going to take some luck. You got to stay healthy. You get a good draw in the tournament versus a bad one. There's a lot of things go into it. And then you got to play well. I mean, you got to play well and you got to have players. That's why I like this team. They got a player that can make a big shot if they need it, which a lot of times that happens in the NCAA tournament. And they play good defense. They take care of the ball, so they shouldn't get beat by themselves. Do they have enough talent to keep winning? That's going to be the question. They got to keep improving.
Michael brings up a great point. Somebody didn't mention in my little soapbox on improving players next year. Trey Thompson, he's a kid that I thought had a chance to play this year. He's riding the bench and redshirting Gary, but I think he's going to be pretty good. I mean, he had opportunities. He turned down. He reclassed up to come to Iowa this year, which is interesting. I kind of thought reclass up, you're going to play. He reclassed up and he's redshirting, but he turned down Kansas, and there was another blue blood he turned down, had offers from.
Where's he from?
Trey Thompson. Let me pull his bio up. Yeah, he's a guy you don't hear anything about just because he's not playing. He is from Tennessee, Greenville, Tennessee, and I asked him about the process of reclassing up. Yeah, so he turned down, reportedly, had offers from Kansas, Indiana, Alabama, Purdue, Tennessee, Vandy, Clemson, Virginia Tech, Stanford. So, and he was let's see, I'm sure you don't care about ratings, but he's listed at 6'8", 220, and he was a top 100 kid nationally, a best player in Tennessee, and according to 247 Sports, a top 20 power forward in the country.
Wow, and he's not even playing.
He's not even playing. So, yeah,
that's exciting.
Thomas brings up UConn, the Big East, in 2011. How many did they win that? Was it 5 days and 5 wins in 5 days?
5. You don't want to have to do it if you can avoid it.
They had a guy named Kemba Walker who was on a totally different level that year. Kyle says, what do you think will happen when Banks comes close to the free throw record? We talked about this the other night. Who knows? I don't think you. I mean, you'd be somebody to ask, right? I mean, you and Patty and Mike, and what is your viewpoint on it? You said the other night you kind of understand either way, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't take anything away from.
I'll be happy either way.
Yeah, Bobby, thank you for this compliment. He says these shows are fun. Hopefully, have many more wins to have these shows. And who is Don McClain? Am I crazy? Didn't
Don McClain was a great player at UCLA.
How about Don McClain?
And a musician, but that's not. No. He was a great player at UCLA, and I think he played a fair amount in the NBA too. And a really good college player.
But Don McClain did sing American Pie, right?
Yeah, but not that Don.
Okay. And then Seth says, does Coach see similarities between McCollum and Bo Ryan?
Yeah, I do. I think teams play very similar. And what we found, we were good enough to, win games with talent that wasn't as good as some of the teams we played against. And then when we got talent, that's when we really took off. So you got to have talent, but you can also survive and advance and beat people with, playing solid basketball. And Iowa does that.
All right, let's go to our final caller of the night. We got Cody here with us. Cody, welcome.
Hello. Or Corey, should I say, hello there.
Okay. Inside joke, Gary.
Never mind.
I'm not in on that joke.
I don't even know that Gary would think it was funny if he understood the joke, but go
ahead. It's a stupid Star Wars reference, Gary. It's nothing.
I'm not a Star Wars guy, Gary, but this is from the Discord.
Okay. I was just thinking about last year about this time. And when we went out west, I think UCLA hung 50 on us in the first half, if I recall. And we got destroyed by them. I mean, that game wasn't even competitive. And then I think we went to USC, maybe. We're barely even in that game, too. So it's amazing what a year can do. I mean, that felt pretty bad coming off that. And we kind of limped to the end of the season there. But it's been, I don't know, it's been nice to be on a little ride here. And guys seem like they're playing well, teams gelling, all that good stuff. But
can I ask you this, Cody? I mean, maybe it's just because there's a different head man. I'm sure that's what it is. But do you as a fan watch this team right now and think, well, there's a chance they might start fading. I don't, with the way they play, like, I don't worry about that. Gary, tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't think they'll fade unless they get some bad injury. I mean, if they lose Sturts, they'd fade fast. But,
sure, injuries aside.
No, I don't see that happening.
With Fran's teams, Cody, it was so, to me, things were so delicate anyways because he never plays defense. And, if shots stop falling, and then he had a history of certain years the team kind of went on a skid late, or even in February you go on a skid and you're trying to recover in time for March, and and then obviously there's a bad taste of winning the Big Ten tournament and losing to Richmond, and losing to who else did they lose to in the tournament? Tennessee. They lost to Tennessee.
Yeah. USC blew us out.
Auburn. Did they lose to Auburn?
Yes. Good call, Gary.
Didn't USC with Mobley blow us out too?
No, they didn't play USC. They played Oregon.
Really? Oregon, that's right. I'm sorry. It's different back then. That's right.
They blew them out in the tournament. But yeah, right. I mean, so I just, they could lose in the first round. Anybody can lose in the first round of the NCAAs. But I don't worry about this team going on a skid because of how they play.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they just defensively, and I said this at the beginning of the year, I have confidence that this team is going to stay in, even with the talent gap that I believe is there collectively. They're not as talented as a lot of these schools that they beat, I don't think. But, they defend. They're real well coached. Don McClain made the comment tonight, Gary, that he doesn't know that and this is interesting. He said he doesn't know that he's ever seen a defensive practice where there was so much attention to detail. He watched Iowa's practice today. He did not. He said he doesn't know if he's seen a practice with more attention to detail on details. That's amazing. That's an amazing comment. I mean, maybe he's exaggerating a little bit, but those are the types.
A few announcers have made that comment.
Yeah,
that have watched him practice. That's not the only one.
He also said that he was looking forward to seeing Iowa in person. He thought they were more impressive in person than he even thought too. So I thought that was pretty high praise too. But yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe it's oversimplification, but I always felt like Fran was going to do things the Fran way. And if it worked, that's great. We could potentially beat anybody if we were hot from three. If it didn't work, then we get our doors blown off. And usually that would lead to some interaction with the referee that might not have been too pleasant and so on. But when I think about Ben, I feel like he's constantly working that sideline, not to work a ref or anything, but to find a matchup to exploit. And I feel like he's coaching nonstop, not like this is our philosophy and let's run it and we'll see what happens. Like, I feel like he's constantly probing to find ways to defeat the opponent. And that's why I don't think I feel that way personally, but
I agree. And
good point.
With Fran, I have a question for you, Cody, as a fan. I'm not going to put Gary on the spot on this, but some of the response, I call it antics.
Yep.
But some of the response from some people in the McCaffrey circle that have been, to me, almost vindictive, certainly resentful to how that ended. And they have every right to express themselves the way they want to express it. But I wonder if Banks breaks that record, will there be some almost resentment from certain people? Not Bohannon. I don't think Bohannon has any ill will. I don't think he does any ill will towards Iowa. But would there maybe be resentment from the McCaffrey circle because they kept the record alive and now McCollum comes in and first year they break the record? I just am curious from your perspective.
Yeah.
Petty question, but
yeah, that's interesting. The thing I wonder about too with that is, I'm 47, so when that happened, I was 15, and I loved Chris Street. He was one of my favorite players at the time, and I remember in school at the time we made posters about Chris, and we drew pictures of his jersey and just how big of a deal he was. But I feel like, Jordan with his ties to Iowa, there was a connection there. Tavian, I think, is Kansas City. And I don't, to me, I don't know. It feels different because it's not an Iowa kid. There's not really an Iowa connection other than he plays for us. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing, but I look out for Connor. He could go off on something like that. You never know.
Hey, more content for me. If he pulls some crap on that, I'm blasting out a video because I almost did. Hey, I missed the opportunity when Gary, I'm just going to tell you this because you don't go on social media. Gary,
You're blocked.
What happened? Did he block me? I don't remember.
Aren't you blocked? I thought you said maybe that was somebody else.
That's how little I care. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But Gary, this is crazy. This is the level of pettiness. Now, some people would say, "Well, they fired his dad." Or what do you? After Iowa State beat Iowa, remember how good that game? It was a hard-fought game in Ames. After that happened, Connor McCaffrey retweeted a post from Iowa State that said something along the lines of, "It's a cyclone state." Connor retweeted that. It's just a petty, stupid, like. Now, I'll give you my perspective on this because I haven't sounded off on it. I did sound off on it on social media. And it's late, so, Gary's wanting me to wrap this thing up. But I won't prolong it, Gary. My perspective on it, this is my opinion, is that that's a spoiled mindset. Your dad collected how many millions of dollars as the head coach at Iowa, okay? He was here like 15 years, okay? They don't owe anything to him. Okay? And you played for your dad for free. Did you contribute to Iowa basketball? Yeah, sure. But you played for free, collected NIL money in the latter part of your career, right? Your whole family got the opportunity to attend Iowa, including your younger brother, Patrick, who also played at Iowa for free. You're dating the biggest personality in women's sports who loves Iowa, it has her name in the rafters in Iowa, and you're going to make yourself look that dumb on social media because you're going to go defend your daddy. I just think I'm on my side of that. Okay. I just think it's totally immature and ridiculous. But that's what happened, Gary. And he's said there've been other things, and I think I did respond to that, and he promptly blocked me. I do believe that's true, Cody. I do believe
he did a Mutombo and said,
not my house. Yeah. I just think it's funny. Like we're so upset because his dad got fired. What is he supposed to have, a lifetime contract? He never made the second weekend. He could never make the second weekend. He was given 15 years, and they couldn't win 2 games in the tournament. Not once. Not one time. They won 1 championship and then promptly got ousted by the Spiders. They don't owe him anything. And they don't owe Connor anything. Anyways, that's all I have to say, Cody.
Yeah, I don't think you needed him.
Express yourself a little bit better, Cody.
Yeah, I don't know. Fran didn't ever have any problem saying anything. I don't think he needed Connor to stand up for him, but whatever. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But the only question I had for you, Gary, is do you see any parallels to any past or current NBA player that Bennett would compare to? Do you think he'd maybe be a little better, like skilled Steve Nash as far as like shooting? Feel like his shot's better than Steve?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm going to give that some more thought because I was thinking that as I was watching him. Because I think most people have him way up in the draft. And I think rightfully so. I think Nash is a pretty good Jeff Hornacek.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one. Like that because he played at Iowa State, but he had a long, really good NBA career. A little bit like him.
Just don't say LaFester Rhodes, Gary. That's all I ask.
No. He doesn't have LaFester's game.
Yeah.
You know who Sturts reminds me of in a very poor man's fashion? But it's Luka Doncic, and I'll tell you why. He's got range from 3. He's his pace. If you watch Luka play, now Luka's bigger, stronger, like all those things, right? Just unlimited range, unlimited vision, incredible passer. But that's why I say poor man's version, because Bennett really plays at his pace and usually dictates that to his opponent, Gary. He's not.
I agree.
He gets to his spots and gets what he wants. So that would be my modern day comp.
One thing I thought he showed really nice today was moving without the ball. Like he had some really nice cuts. And I don't think we see him because he's so ball dominant. You don't see him do that quite so much. Usually he comes and gets the ball, and then goes to work. But he was doing a lot off the ball with cutting, which I thought was, that's just another way to score. And he got some easy buckets off of it. They're huge. The timing of them was great. Good stuff. So
he attracts a lot of attention.
Yes, he does. Thank you, guys.
All right, Cody. Thank you,
All
sir.
right. See you, Cody.
Hawkeye Doug, thank you for the super chat. Beat Washington. We sweep Pac-12 teams 4-0. That would be a good sweep because UCLA that was a good win. I mean, now look back at UCLA, they're playing some really good basketball, and to get that win, and I think USC is going to be coming on here, and found a way past them the other night. And hey, if you can win at Oregon and at Washington, those West Coast victories will help.
No doubt.
Final score, 84-66. The Hawks over the Ducks. Big Grove's big play of the day. Brendan Hasen's three-point field goal after Oregon had cut the lead to 6 late in the first half with 10 seconds to go in the half. Brendan Hasen spots up for 3. Kansas pushes the lead back to 9. Iowa never gave up that lead in the second half. Bennett Sturtz, our player of the game, 32 big ones, 12 of 15 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, added 7 assists, and yes, you see it there. Goose egg on turnovers. So what an impressive performance for him. Cooper Koch finished the day in double figures with 10 points, 4 of 7 from the field. He was really good for the Hawks. Fulgaris Alvaro was really good, 6 and 9 from the field, 15 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. And also Brendan Hasen, 11 points on 4 of 7 shooting, 3 of 6 from outside in 16 minutes played. So definitely made his mark when he was in there. Other notables here, Isaiah Howard ended up with 6 points, 4 rebounds, 3 steals. Tate Sage with 2 points in 14 minutes of play. Cale Combs had 4 points, and Manyao added 3 rebounds and a pair of assists in just under 13 minutes of play. The Hawks shooting 59% from the field, 46% from 3, and 80% from the foul line. You'll take those numbers any day of the week. Iowa on turnovers on the road, just 5 turnovers. I don't know that you can this in Indiana. I mean, I know Indiana's a better team, but those 2 games have to be 2 best Big Ten play. You don't get much better than the stats that I'm reading here, Gary.
No doubt.
And Iowa also dominated the paint, 44-26, as well as bench points, 34-18. Hawkeyes will be back in action on Wednesday. Gary will be in bed.
No doubt. I'll have to tape that and watch it in the morning. So if you want to do the show at 10 o'clock in the morning, I'll be ready to roll.
Yeah. We'll just change that for
AM. I love those being able to record. I do that a lot. Trust me.
I do like the triple headers for Big Ten, especially when you're sick with the flu. Hey, give me a late game because I'm not getting to sleep until 2 or 3 in the morning. But Iowa at Washington up in Seattle, Wednesday, 10 p.m. Central Time on the 4th, just a few days from now on Big Ten Network. And we'll have post-game coverage for you there. And it's been a fun day. I know the women lost to a really good UCLA team, but men got a win, and it was a big one. So, Sean, I didn't forget how good Steve Nash was. You do realize that Steve Nash and Dirk played together, came in together. I watched a lot of Steve Nash, and I watched a lot of Steve Nash.
Steve Nash played his college ball?
Steve Nash, where did he play his college ball? Why would you ask me that question?
You're a Maverick fan, and he was a.
Yeah, but that's that doesn't necessarily mean I know where the guy played in college. Somebody will tell me in the chat. I was thinking it's somewhere in the ACC. No, Santa Clara. That's right. See, I knew that. So you knew that. Why are you asking me the question? You're just trying to make me look foolish.
I believe we played against him at Stanford.
All right. Well, sure you did. I'm sure you guys played Santa Clara a lot since you were out in that area. How far was
every year at non-conference?
How far was that?
Santa Clara's down by San Jose, so it's only, depending on traffic, half hour, 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did Dirk play in college?
Germany.
Yeah, exactly. Those classic Mavs teams, man. When Dirk came into the league, it was Nash and Dirk and Gary Trent, Sean Bradley. Talk about, where did Sean Bradley play college ball?
BYU.
BYU.
We actually recruited Sean at Iowa.
What a really?
Yeah.
Wow, that'd have been
nice kid, nice family. But I remember I tried to find a Mormon church and things like that in Iowa City, and I did. And I talked to the pastor or whatever you want to call it. If he's Mormon, you're not getting him. And I said, well, he is. I said, well, we'll try, but you're up against it. And
wow,
he was right.
That's a story. That's interesting.
You know, in high school, he played first base, baseball. I would have that target to throw to.
Yeah, I don't think anybody ever overthrew him, right?
Really nice kid. Really nice kid.
Really sad that, you know, he's confined to a wheelchair now. And
yeah, real sad.
Yeah,
he was a really nice. Parents were nice. It was we almost got a visit out of him, but almost doesn't count in recruiting.
Yeah, I think Nick Van Exel was maybe on that Mavs team. I could be wrong, but yeah, that Sean Bradley.
Aguirre?
Well, that's going way back.
Oh,
Mark Aguirre. He just had his name retired. His jersey retired.
He just had his something broke. Maybe the flag broke his rookie scoring record.
Okay, yeah, Flag's carving out his own legacy. The other guy I was thinking of was Michael Finley, was on that Mavs team as well, and then jumped to the Spurs.
He was a pretty good player.
He was, and he's still in the front office for Dallas. So good stuff. Jason Terry was a little bit later, Shane, but Jason Terry is probably the next guy to have his jersey retired for Dallas. He was part of that.
He plays college ball.
Arizona.
Yep.
Oh, see, I'm not totally dumb. I can, you know, don't ask me past that. Where did Josh Howard play? Don't tell me. Was it Boston College or Wake?
I think it was Wake, but I'm not positive about that one.
Yeah, Josh Howard. Let's see, NBA college. Let's see. I'm pretty sure it was Wake. Yes, Wake. Yep. But I did not know that. That's a really cool story on Sean Bradley. And I've heard the same thing. I didn't know him like you did, but I've heard the same thing. And just a great guy. And yeah, he was in a biking accident. I don't know what year that was, and horrific, but
bad biking accident. Yeah.
Kept his life, and that, you know, I'm sure he's made the most of it. So anyways, all right, folks, appreciate you being here. Gary, thanks. This is always fun. I'm glad
I gotta go back and watch the end of the Grammys.
Oh, really? I guarantee you're going to watch that in the morning.
Okay, to watch it in the morning.
Nobody's going to get slapped, are they?
I hope not.
Or was that the Oscars? I can't remember.
That was the Oscars. Yeah,
okay.
that was the Oscars.
All right, folks, the Iowa Hawkeye men defeating Oregon 84-66. Join our Discord server for $5 a month, $50 a year. Donate via PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App, and label your donation Discord. If you're listening on Spotify, Amazon, Anchor, any podcast platform, please give us a 5-star review. If you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. A like does help us in the algorithm. And if you're interested in sponsoring the show, shoot an email to info@fromthehawkeyeofthestorm.com. info@fromthehawkeyeofthestorm.com. I'll throw it up here on the screen. There it is. info@fromthehawkeyeofthestorm.com. And again, we'll have recruiting. We got recruiting coverage out the wazoo for football and, of course, both men's and women's basketball. So stay tuned for that tomorrow and Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we'll have men's postgame coverage. And then Thursday, the women are back at home to take on the Gophers. We'll have postgame coverage for that game as well. Gary, it's been a pleasure as always, sir.
You bet. We'll talk again.
Okay, for Coach Close, I'm Corey Bratta from the Hawkeye of the Storm. You folks have a great night.